Yellow Lamborghini, yellow top missing. Uh, uh, this shit looks like a toupee. I get what you get in 10 years, in 2 days. Them ladies love me. All right, let's go.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Coby and Dale podcast, the podcast dedicated to talk about the ins, outs, ups, and downs of business. My name is Coby, and I'm joined here by my co-host, Dale.
Welcome, everybody.
I'm keeping that as the intro.
Okay. I shouldn't have done it. It was my fault.
Yeah,
we
no.
were recording.
I was like, get in on it. Today we're talking about, are you too busy to become a better operator? And why being busy can kill your business. I had to make sure I read it properly again.
Yeah, because Coby did think at the start of this that it was why you can, what was it? Too busy to kill yourself.
Yeah, why you're too busy to kill yourself. And I'm like, I don't know, man, I've got things going on. I think it's a good reason to stay alive, I guess, because you're too busy. Like,
no, we're talking about how being quote unquote too busy can kill your business. And this one's actually going to be fairly simple to get through from my side of things, unless Coby has some interesting facts that I didn't think to bring up.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah. No. That was a video reference if you're listening on audio. Anyway, the big thing is, I think a lot of business owners will be able to identify with this. You get it from customers, but we also say it ourselves a lot. You'll be trying to sell something to a customer, and like, especially if it's a time heavy thing, weight loss, some sort of transformation, even a renovation, things like that. Your customers will say to you, "Oh, I'm too busy to do something about it right now." And you, as the person selling the thing, you're like, "That's a shit excuse. That's a terrible excuse." But we say it ourselves as business owners. So, for example, if there was a skill that you needed to learn to up your business, it might be to be better, to be a better salesman, get your conversion rates up. It might be something to do with generating leads, even running your own ads, whatever it is. There's a skill that you could learn, but it's going to take you 100 hours to learn it. You will say something like, "No, I'm too busy to learn that right now." And
I've interpreted this all wrong.
oh
I'm
my
a
god,
fuckhead. I thought you were saying like, like being too busy to like take on more people on that, and why it makes you like a worse operator.
oh, you thought it was like a scaling issue?
Yeah, being like, if you're too busy, why that can kill the business.
Right. Okay. So
No,
you're
I'm
a big
with you now.
fuckhead.
Yeah, no, well, that makes sense, because yesterday I was like, I can't die because I actually have a meeting with Dale tomorrow. So, I'm too busy to die. So,
Yeah. Okay. So okay. Well, I'm glad
that
I
makes more
introed
sense
then.
now. I'm here with it. Yeah. I'm so glad.
Cool. I'm so glad I didn't handball off to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So the lesson here is that we hear it from our customers a lot, and then we also say it to ourselves. But for some reason, we decide that it's actually true when we say it to ourselves versus it's not true when our customer says it to us. So we're going to break through that, and it's going to help with the objection of selling people time as well. So we're going to kind of kill two birds with one stone here. I don't know if I even want to throw to you yet. Have you had enough time to put something together in your head yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, great, Coby. So when I say that to you, when you hear that, what do you think? And this is probably good because you're coming in just with as much fresh ears as our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I prepared.
Cool. Hit me
for the wrong thing. What are you asking me? Sorry.
Oh god. Oh god. All right. So when I give that intro on what we're talking about today, what does that make you as a business owner?
Okay.
Yeah, like where are the areas that you're kind of like, my clients are too busy and I'm saying I'm too busy? Where's the overlap?
Yeah, not a lot, because I'm a wedding photographer. So, but actually, no, I lied. There is some, and it just happened the other day, which I saw one of the brides actually out, and she was like, "I'm so sorry. I've been meaning to get back to all of your emails. I've been too busy. Like, I'm trying to prep all this sort of stuff. We haven't got anything planned." And I was sitting there thinking, I was like, "You're like too busy." Yeah, sure. I mean, you've got to build. I mean, I've given you everything you need to build your timeline and all that sort of shit. But then I also thought, like, fuck, I haven't gotten back to her either, to be fair, as far as it goes. Like, I could definitely.
I've been too busy.
Yeah, like, I've been kind of flat out getting all this sort of stuff, like having to get back and edit all the photos from the gig. You know, I flew back, had to catch up on everything that was like all the work that I didn't do throughout that time. Had to, catch up with you, all that sort of stuff. We started talking about all fresh things that we were going to do in the business and everything, and I was given more tasks. I think I put a lot of stuff that I considered not as important on the back burner, because I knew, as time sensitive as they are, I'm like, I've still got 5 weeks before this thing's going to happen, and a lot of it I'm waiting on other people. So I think definitely there. I think the biggest thing that I hear from clients specifically is they're too busy in their planning.
Mm.
Because obviously, I mean, being a wedding photographer, everything is a fucking busy period for them.
Mm.
So busy. I mean, you're planning your salary, you're planning your photography, you're planning all this sort of stuff, which
Venue, the
I try
whole
and
lot.
help. Yeah, I try and help make it as best as possible. I got like recommended vendors, all this sort of stuff, different things to help with like photo locations, everything. So I try and make it as easy so they're not as stressed out through all that busy period. But I think I get overwhelmed so easy too, which
Mm.
you would obviously know,
Yes.
to the point where I'm like, there is so much going on that I'm just overwhelmed. I feel too busy, and that I feel like I get that kind of like
Noise.
just, yeah. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything now because
Mm.
of how overwhelming this is and how much shit there is. But I think definitely there's so much stuff. Like if I sat down and was like, well, I'm going to focus on my organization, it can make things so much different. So I think that the overlap there with my customers is they're always too busy with their planning side of things, and always too busy trying to make sure these things kind of go right and catching up on a lot of stuff that I 100%, I could focus on so much stuff to be a better operator.
Yeah.
Or not, I'm just perfect. Actually, now that I think
Yeah.
about it, nah, everything I just said
Beautiful.
was a lie. I'm actually dead on.
Yeah, but so this is a really good thing to bring up, because the first thing when I asked Coby, and this happens all the time, Mr. Coby Project, over 1,000 businesses in the last 2.5 years. This happens all the time. I'll say a very blatant statement like that. Where are you too busy and where are your customers too busy? And the first thing that comes to Coby's head is, I'm a wedding photographer, so that never happens. And then immediately it's like, actually, that happens all the time.
Yeah, I
My
just full on
customers
lied to
are
you. My
busy as
bad.
fuck. Yeah. But no, but it's not even you. It's everyone. Everyone's like, no, I'm not too busy for anything, and my customers aren't too busy. Like, no, and then they
Yeah,
think about it
because they've
just
always
for a
got so
second.
much other stuff going on, and especially
Yeah.
weddings. They're planning their entire wedding. Like, yeah, actually,
As busy as
they're
shit.
quite busy doing that, no matter what. Or
Yeah.
people, like everyone works. A lot of people work a full-time job. Their customers are probably busy as hell. Personal
Yeah. So
trainers. They're
that's a really good invitation for people who
mm,
listen to that question and were like, "Oh, that doesn't apply to me." Have a think about it just for
yeah,
a minute,
genuinely.
just for 5 minutes, because all of a sudden, every single business owner that I've ever asked that question, they're like, "Oh, actually, yeah, fuck." And
Yeah, my
exactly
bad.
what,
They are busy.
yeah, yeah, where Coby got to at the end there, especially internally with the business, was if I just spent 10 hours on my organization, I probably wouldn't get to the point of like, I'm so overwhelmed. And that's exactly what this kind of episode is about.
It's
Um,
probably perfect timing because we just did my SWOT analysis, which if for
yeah.
anyone, if they want to know how to do better as an operator, fucking do that.
Mm.
And I literally, like, I'm looking at it right here on here, and it has like my organization. I rated it like a 5. I'm like, look, I'm not great at this, and it needs some work. Like, I'm actively acknowledging it. Go through, figure out what your like strengths and weaknesses are, and rank yourself on that, because that makes a massive difference. You can really see where you're lacking as an operator. And
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to focus on your strengths as much. You already got them.
Mm. And the thing is, too, especially if you do that, if you don't know what a SWOT analysis is, it's strengths, weaknesses, opportunity, and threats. That's what SWOT
I forgot
stands
what the
for. So
OT stood for when you first asked me.
originally,
Like,
yeah, we haven't
yeah,
done one in a little while. Yeah,
no, I had to Google. I was like, what the fuck is the OT?
yeah, but it basically just helps you break down like what you're great at, what you're shit at, what opportunities are on the table, and what are the threats to either the entire business or the opportunities at whole. And it
Yeah,
just helps you outline where your attention needs to be focused. I take it one step further, and that's what I sent to Coby is do the analysis and then rank the strengths and the weaknesses out of 10, because it's very different to know what your strengths are. You could be like, oh, like I'm very strong, but am I if the opportunity is I can be a rock climbing champion, am I that kind of strong? Probably not.
yeah,
It's a very different. So to know what your strength is, but then to know how far optimized it is a very different thing. Works same with the weaknesses. If you realize that, oh, my organization is at 50% capacity, it doesn't. If your strengths are at 8, 9, 10, 8, and 9, you're not going to get the same kind of turnaround from taking your organization from a 5 to an 8. That's going
yeah,
to be
exactly.
so much more beneficial. So it just helps you prioritize what you actually need to work on, where you spend time, especially if you're busy. If you're busy, you should be doing this kind of shit, because people will be like, I need to work on my organization. General statement. That could mean anything. If you know for a fact that some of your other weaknesses are worse than your organization, you shouldn't be focusing on organization. You should be
No,
trying to take it from a 2 to a 5 rather than from a 5 to a 7.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's just a matter of how
The
to
lower it
highlight
is, the more you can kind of grow.
yeah, and easy growth, low hanging fruit. Take the low numbers as low hanging fruit, because if your organization is crap to a point where you're not replying to emails, just reply to emails. Your business might be 50% better. It's as
Yeah,
simple as that.
I think that goes back to our goal setting too, as well. When it's
Mm.
like do the little goals
Yeah.
because you can achieve them a lot faster than your bigger goals.
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of the time you'll need the skills to achieve your bigger goals in the nuances of the small
Mm,
details. You'll learn that anyway. So yeah, that's kind of the overview. And that was a really good tool that we use, that
yeah.
Coby is using right now in real time, to highlight those things. But the too busy aspect, it's probably more sexy to talk about it from the customer aspect first. So let's do that. But when your customer says they're too busy, straight away that's a lie. And you need to understand that, especially when you know what the solution or what the end product is. So, for example, with Kobe's example, is I'm too busy to go. Kobe sends what, 6 emails that tell you how to plan, where you need to be, everything basically from start to finish.
Yeah, they get like literally an email per month. So they're given like a month to get all of this
Mm,
sort of stuff. And some of the stuff is so they get like an email, say it's like a photo list, and then they'll get like timeline, all this sort of stuff and everything. And then they'll get another one, which is just a questionnaire, which literally goes over all the stuff that we already had, but just making sure they have all those details together. So they have no
mm,
reason not to have that. Like I make sure that they have everything over that 6 months prior to make sure
mm.
that they're perfect and ready to go.
Yeah. And I think, that's where what leads into us as the person that's selling them the solution to make sure they get the result that they want. We can't take at face value, I'm too busy, as a genuine excuse. The reason why is if you can break it by asking a question, then it's not real. It doesn't, like, if unless you can, I can ask you 10 questions and you can logically answer them and I go, there's no reason I shouldn't believe you, then it's a lie. And
Yeah.
the first question I would ask in that situation is, if Kobe says to that person, they see them on the street and they say, "Hey, how you going?" They're like, "I've been too busy to do it." The first question I would ask is, if you did all these things, if all these things that I've sent you were off your list, would you have less to do? If they say, "Yeah," then you're not too busy. Because if you just did the 5 things I gave you, you would have 5 less things on your list, which would free up your list. Your list would be
Mm,
shorter now, making you less busy and have more time to worry about your other tasks. Most people, when they look at a to-do list, if it has 30 plus things on it, they spend more time trying to prioritize the list or organize the list than just doing the shit that they should be doing.
yeah.
So the first question I would ask would break that thing. Would just be like, "Hey, if you did those things, would you have less on your list?" Yes. Okay, so what you're saying is you're too busy to be more productive. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
No.
Same thing happens with the operator. So you can use that as an objection if you're selling, if you're doing high volume sales and a lot of people saying busy, find a question that they have to answer, that they have to say the word yes to. It's not because you're bullying them, it's because you're actually curious about if they're busy enough to get the result. I'm selling you a business turnaround, 30 days to make your business 6 months faster, better than it would have been if you didn't use me. I can't afford to have you tell me you're busy for a week.
No.
I can't afford it, because then you won't get the results you paid for. So if you're selling on the selling end and someone says, "I'm too busy," use that as an opportunity to ask questions and be like, if you actually did the thing on this list, if you counted your macros today, you wouldn't have to do it for the rest of the month. Yeah? Correct. Great. Are you going to be more busy in a month? Yeah, probably. I'm getting closer to my competition. This isn't going to get any easier, champion. We both
Mm,
know that. Yeah, you're going to be on a deficit. Your brain's going to be foggy. You're going to be all this kind of shit. Just do it now, because in a month's time, you'll be even busier than you are. Period. So that's the kind of shit that we can say to our customers to get them to understand the value of what their actually time is and how they should spend it.
yeah.
On the operator side, we need to hear our own bullshit as well,
Absolutely.
because and the best way to do that, SWOT analysis is number one. Find out your
So
strengths and
good.
weaknesses and rank them. The next thing is I want you to do a day-to-day operation calendar. So in your calendar with all your meetings and everything like that, I want you to do a separate list of what did I do from 8 till 9? What did I do from 9 till 10? Break it down hour by hour. And then and I'm talking literally what you did. If you didn't do a meeting, if you didn't take a phone call, if you just sat on the couch, if you scrolled TikTok, write that down. We can do that for 3 days. You're going to very quickly see how many free hours there are in a day or how many low leverage things you're doing. And if your organization is weak, we're going to plug organization training into those hours. You will be better in a week. You'll be better in a month than you otherwise would have been. Period. Organization fixed. So it's just a matter of understanding where you're at and hearing your own bullshit. "Oh, I'm too busy." Well, you probably don't need to take a shit for 45 minutes.
Yeah, I
Like,
know what I need to do. It's my
I
TikTok
do.
time.
I know exactly what you need to do. But that's the thing, is we have to get to a point of real honesty. Most of business, especially on the operator side, is understanding how honest you are with yourself. Ask yourself these questions. They might be hard, they might be intimidating, but if you ask them, you actually have the answer. So we're never too busy. The fact of the matter is if I said to Coby, if I said to you right now, the difference between you and $1 million is all the weaknesses on your SWOT analysis, how much time are you going to put into them? You would tell me an answer and you'd put the time in, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
The difference is no one's going to ask you that question except for you.
Yeah.
So it's very easy to avoid that question because it's like, no, but I like TikTok and I like this and that. But the actual answer is, it is the thing standing between you and $1 million. It is the thing standing between you and 10 million or a team of 50 or whatever it is. We need to work on those weaknesses and turn them into strengths. So that's, if you asked anyone that question, I'll pay you $1 million to work on your weaknesses, they would do it. When they ask themselves, they're like, no, I'm busy.
Fuck no. I'm a big boy.
Yeah. So that's how you do it. It's as simple as that.
That's really simple.
It's as simple as fuck.
Yeah, thanks. So if you guys enjoyed listening.
Yeah. Well, I don't have anything else. Do you have anything to add on that?
No, but I think it's really good. I think not a lot of people. I think it's always hard for people to reflect on what they do, especially when it comes to the weakness side of things, because you have to actually acknowledge, which I hated, and I think I've got mine up here, and I think I've even got written somewhere in the overall thoughts, and I was like, it's very vulnerable to acknowledge. Fuck, I write like shit. Holy crap! Half of this is spelled properly.
Bro, I have to read your reports. I sometimes I sit there and I just edit the words because I'm like, what the fuck is organization? And I have to reorganize.
Yeah, I just write. And I don't
That's
think...
good though. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're laughing about this, but for anyone that's listening, this is actually a good trait of Coby's because he doesn't allow his head to get caught up in, does that sound right? Does it edit? He gets version 1 out. We can always make version 2 and 3 better. But version 1 is what's important to get out of your head. Continue. It's vulnerable.
I don't think that's how performing is spelled. Everything is just red lines. Oh my God. What was I saying? Oh, no. It's, yeah, acknowledging that like you have the weaknesses and actually going through and looking at yourself. It's such a vulnerable experience to be like, I actually am really shit at this. And it's one thing to acknowledge that you're shit at something, but then to go like, how shit am I at it? To be like, yeah, this is a 1. I fucking suck. Like, I shouldn't be doing this at all. Rather than your strengths. Even that, if you're like, oh, I'm really good at communication, like, but how good? To actually acknowledge that, to be like, yeah, maybe I sit at like a 10. You're like, you tell me there's nothing that you can improve on. I don't think I'd ever give myself a 10 or anything, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think that's just like the harshness, because I always think you can always improve on something.
100%. You'll never know everything about everything.
No. And I think you never know about things that you don't know either.
Yeah.
Which is always something when sometimes you ask me things, you're like, what don't you know here? I'm like, I don't even know what I don't know in these situations. So I don't know the questions to ask, which I think is that's what you need to bring to your customer too. Because they don't know why they're so busy or what they actually need to do to make them less busy. No, exactly. So you need to make everything so much easier on them. If you make it easier on them and make it easier on yourself, it's going to be fucking easier on the entire process.
Yeah, and this brings us back to, if you want to go back and listen to like episodes 1 through 5, we talk about, and a lot of that, just the paramount importance of preparation. And if you don't want to ask yourself these questions, your customer, who is also busy, doesn't want to ask themselves those questions. So if you can get them prepared before you speak to your customer, they will have to answer the question that they don't want to answer to themselves. If you can get that answer, you can actually form a bond with your customer, because then you understand who they are, not the avatar of who they are. And I had like, if I was going to sign this off with one thing, I had a 19-year-old, like maybe a year and a half into running the Sequoia project. He contacted me and he asked me the most straightforward question I've ever been asked, which was just point blank, how'd you get rich? I've never been asked that question like that before. I've been asked details about business, like, oh, how do you do this, or how have you?
Yeah, but he's not fucking around. He just wants to know.
He's not fucking around. He just wanted, and I have a very firm belief: if you can't say it in a sentence, you don't know what you're talking about. So I had to think about it for a second. I was like, how do I get this down into a sentence? The answer to that was, which I still believe to this day, is I do the things that you don't want to do, and I do them better than anyone else. That's it. That if you take away everything else I've done and every other thing I've achieved, that's the only answer that matters, because the introspection is hard. Being vulnerable, even with yourself, is hard. I just do that more often than anyone else.
Yeah.
And I do it to a degree that I don't think anyone else would go to. And that gives me my edge. Okay. So it's not some secret business model that no one's ever thought of. It's literally think of everything you don't want to do. I do that, and my team does that every single day better than anyone else. Period. That's it. That's where these kind of questions come in. Am I actually busy, or am I just fucking the dog? For lack of a better sentence there.
I hope not.
But that's really it. Is
that
exactly
what all the
Coby
dog
said.
collars are for?
That's why there's like 30 dogs running around my house.
All the dog collars you keep buying on Amazon.
Oh, that's a throwback to another episode.
It is.
Anyway, yeah, that's the key. The key is going, this is vulnerable. I don't want to ask this question. Everyone won't want to ask those questions. The people who do get ahead. It's just as simple as that. So yeah, that's how I would sign this whole thing off. If you don't know what questions to ask, like Coby said, and you're kind of like, what do I ask? I'm green here. Then just reach out to us at the Sequoia Project. All the links are in the description. Hit us up at the group or hit us up individually. Either one of us will be able to tell you. If you love the answer, jump in the group, give us $50 for being good boys, and we'll turn your business around for you.
Give us $50 for being good boys. Jump in the comments too. We respond to all those.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, fuck the group. Don't join the group. Get in the comments here. We'll do it for free. And if you absolutely love it, then you can talk about jumping in the group.
And then give us $50 for being good boys.
For being good boys.
Because Dale needs to buy so many more collars.
I needed some more dog collars.
Dale has too many dogs.
All good. You love it. The links are there. Join us next episode, and we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Catches.